Ho, 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 merry traders and happy holidays. And while you're going to be unwrapping your gifts on Christmas Day, Wall Street is going to unwrap the gift that never stops giving, even if you want it to. Anxiety. The Dow finally snapped a 10-day losing streak on Friday with a 0.04% gain. Let's go. A win is a win. And that is the longest streak since disco was cool, by the way. But don't break out the champagne just yet. With President-elect Trump back in the driver's seat and the Fed pulling the emergency brake on rate cuts, 2025 might feel like you're riding shotgun, but without the seatbelt. Now our boy, Jimmy Powell, Jay Powell, Fed Chair Jerome Powell, has been slashing rates like a discount shopper on Black Friday. But that sale has now ended. The Fed cut rates again last week, but instead of the 4 rate cuts markets were dreaming of in 2025, we're going to get 2. And Powell basically said, deal with it. I'm giving you 2. Which in English means don't expect dessert until you finish those inflation vegetables and get us back to 2%, baby. And speaking of inflation, that thing has been hanging around like the cousin who just can't take the hint. Party's done. You can't stay here, but you got to go home. November's inflation cooled slightly, but not enough to keep the Fed from clutching its purse strings just a little tighter. Now, if inflation wasn't enough, Wall Street's also dealing with the political power duo of Trump and Musk. With tariffs, immigration shakeups, and tax cuts on the menu, some economists are warning that Trump's policies could send inflation back to the buffet line for seconds. Who's ready to go to Golden Corral? Get some pizza, maybe some soft serve. Who knows? Maybe we'll even get a steak because they serve everything there, which is not a good sign, by the way. But I digress. Because despite all this chaos, markets tried to rally at the end of the week last week. But let's be real. Let's all be honest with ourselves. It just wasn't enough to erase the drama and damage that had already occurred. The Dow, it still clocked in a 2.3% loss for the week. The NASDAQ, with our beautiful babies, the beautiful Mag 7, it was down 1.8%. And the S&P 500 had a 2% slide. And no, I'm not talking about the milk. We're talking about a 2% loss on the week last week. So what's ahead for 2025 exactly? More uncertainty. The Fed's playing defense, Trump's shaking things up, and Wall Street is just going to be left guessing. Like the kid who's wondering when his dad's going to come back with that milk. Will tariffs ignite inflation? Will rate cuts actually happen? The only thing we do know is that it's going to be interesting. Anyways, this holiday shortened week has light economic data. But don't let that fool you. Investors are eyeing new home sales, durable good orders, and jobless claims like we always do. One bad report could send markets spiraling faster than you can say rate hike. So as we coast into 2025, keep one eye on the markets and the other on Washington. Because with Powell and Trump running the show, this year's going to be less It's a Wonderful Life and more Survivor, Wall Street edition. Stay sharp, and I'll see you next time. If you liked this video, go ahead, punch that like button, fist that subscribe, and make sure you turn on those bell notifications and notifications on Twitter so you never miss a Trades and Gains market report. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Love you. Mwah.